And that's probably one of the biggest differentiators of KeepItSafe is that, I mean, we are global, but we've spent millions of dollars investing in our data centers. We're in some of the best facilities in the world. Everything's redundant. There's no single point of failure. So our customers have a high level of confidence that we're never going to lose any data. And that differentiates us because, you know, I've been in this industry a long time. I was selling cloud backup services long before it was ever called cloud. I founded and owned my own cloud backup and disaster recovery services company based out of Toronto, Canada. So we were selling it for a long, long time. And, you know, I can honestly say that most of the industry is made up of local providers, or at least regional providers, you know, local to a specific geography. These are companies that are fairly small, don't have millions of dollars to invest in data centers or in process or in technology. I mean, they do a nice job given, you know, their scale. They just simply can't compete on that national or international stage. And so that's where J2 Global and KeepItSafe really step in, because we've got the staff, we've got the technology investment, we've got the data centers, as I said, we've got support resources globally. We can compete on that global stage, and we're competing against, you know, really our biggest competitors are the telcos out there, you know, the AT&Ts of the world, CenturyLink, you know, guys like that, the Verizons, the Bells, the Teluses. So the nice thing is we can compete at their level because we've got the same level of investment in the solutions. But as probably a lot of folks know, buying services from a telco can be challenging sometimes because they sell so many different things. It's tough to find anybody who knows anything about that particular product suite. So we love going up against those billion-dollar telcos because we really shine through.
Yeah, I've experienced that myself. When you go through a large telco for a particular specialty service, let's say you go through AT&T, I actually did that. I was at the time I was looking for ISDN services, a digital subscriber line, and boy, did I have to go through department, and then get back and hear, and we'll hear from us in 24 hours until we finally found the people, and it was a small little office, and then on top of that, they had no direct dial number. I said, if I need to get back to you again, yeah, well, you have to do that, and you know, you'll hear from us within 24 hours. And, you know, it was horrible when you deal with large companies that just have so many different directions and so many different pockets of products. It's really makes it hard. And I'm gratified to hear that KeepItSafe, although you are large, people who need your kind of services can get to you directly without having to go through layer upon layer of support services before they find out which one is the one that they actually need.
You got it bang on. You can get a hold of us very, very easily. We've got an easy 1-800 number where you can reach us. Support at keepitsafe.com is a great way to get a hold of us. Somebody will get back to you very quickly. And again, we're specialized in what we do, right? So you're not calling into a call center where they sell literally 1,000 different things and they got to go on a hunt to find somebody who knows about that product. All of our guys are certified. We're trained. Very proud of the services that we deliver. Premium support is a cornerstone of our business, and you know, we're proud to deliver that to the customers.
Well, I'm glad to hear that all of your support people are certifiable. And so let me ask you this.
Before we get a little bit deeper into it, KeepItSafe, and we're talking about like in case of catastrophic events, or you know, maybe someone accidentally deleted some kind of data. Like, this isn't KeepItSafe from Chinese hackers.
Right. You know, it's I mean, we try and make it as simple as possible, right? So it's all of the above. It's as simple as somebody deleted a PowerPoint presentation by accident. Now they need it back, or, you know, deleted an email, deleted an Excel spreadsheet. Where'd it go? Now I need it back. You call us, you email us. Our engineers will jump into it and get it back to you within a couple of minutes, just like it never left. Right up until the extreme example, which is, you know, the building is about to collapse. Buildings on fire, floods everywhere, systems are crashing. You need to recover entire servers and systems, not just missing files. We can either rebuild those systems back to the customer's original location, or we can even fail over those systems into our cloud and run from our data centers and really create production environments on the fly in our facilities. And those users will just redirect into our data centers, reconnect in, and IT systems will continue to function. And you can run from our facilities indefinitely until customers get back up and running, get things back in order on their side, then we'll just resync it.
All of these are advantages of doing everything but off-site, or at least duplicating what you have on-site and keeping it off-site, because obviously, if something does happen, or if there's a robbery, or as you said, a natural disaster, you're going to have something on which you can fall back and get yourself back up and running. I like the fact that you said that even if you can even run, you can actually not only back it up, but you can run their business off-site until they get everything up and running again. They can run on your servers, which makes a great deal of sense. But a lot of things you're talking about, I mean, does KeepItSafe sell directly to end users, or do you just sell through a reseller channel? I mean, how do you handle that?
Yeah, no, good question. So the answer is we do both. We have direct customers, but we also have reseller partners. And I should probably just give you a bit of background on that. I mean, a lot of our growth has come through acquisition. I mean, J2 Global as an organization has a large acquisition strategy. So a lot of its growth has come from buying companies, and that's consistent with KeepItSafe. So I mean, it's an exciting place around here. We're buying probably a new service provider in some market every week. So a lot of the growth has come through acquisition. A lot of it sure has come from organic growth as well. But as we buy companies, as we buy local and regional service providers around the world, we acquire their customers and we acquire their partners. So a lot of our customers have come through those acquisitions. We've acquired a lot of the reseller partners that way as well, but we've also developed our own reseller channel. But I would go as far to say that the reseller partners are a critical factor in our success. And I would say that the future growth of the company will come from that side of the business, not from going after direct users. I mean, we don't put a lot of marketing focus and effort into the direct user market. A lot of that marketing investment, at least to date, has been to the reseller partners, and that's we understand the power of growing through a channel, and we certainly want to protect the partners and keep the integrity of the channel, and that's really where we see the big growth in the future.
So I'm not gonna open a magazine or listen to a radio talk show and hear ads about KeepItSafe. You're not promoting yourself to end users directly. That seems to be not a direction which you're headed to. It sounds like you're primarily to IT professionals who then in turn use your service to accomplish what it is that you do.
That's definitely fair to say. A lot of our marketing effort, industry events that we attend, that sort of thing, are all focused on the channel. So we've been to a number of events, and we've got a number more that we plan to attend over the next 12 to 18 months. And the majority of these events are partner focused. So again, that's where we're investing. We've got a lot of education to do out there. Our brand is starting to pop up everywhere just because of the growth that we're experiencing. And we need to get behind that now and start filling in the gaps and educating the channel as to our capabilities. So you're going to start to see our brand pop up a lot more, more sponsorships, industry events, like I said. So yeah, there's a big marketing push coming. We just brought a new director of marketing on board. His name's Eric Foster. He's been working for J2 Global for about 10 years now. His last stint was as marketing director over in Europe. But we were successful enough to bring him back to the USA, back to California, where he's from, and he's come on board to head up our marketing team here. So you're going to see a lot of changes, a lot of the positive things to come from a marketing perspective from KeepItSafe in the future.
But I'm not going to see you, let's say, if I go to a CES or that type of thing. You're not going to have a presence there because it's too consumer oriented. Is that fair to say?
You know what? To be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure if that's fair to say. So again, keep it safe. We've got our own goals and objectives from a marketing perspective, but some of the other business groups within J2, the Sugar Sync folks, the Live Drive folks,
Sure, yeah.
some other acquisitions that we've had, you'll see those guys at some of those events, and there may be some cross promoting with Keep It Safe services as well.
Yeah, because I've known about J2 for many, many, many years. I mean, I didn't know about Keep It Safe, but I didn't know about J2, and I think we've actually had them on the show a number of years ago when they were talking about their faxing products. I think they were one of the first to do it. Okay, so then if you're talking to let's say an IT professional who are looking to use your services, what would you say to them about Keep It Safe? What makes it Keep It Safe unique or different from all the other services that are out there? Because quite frankly, there are a lot of them. I know we mentioned, one of the big ones, AT&T, and you're more focused. I certainly understand that, but could you expand a little bit more on that, on what makes you kind of unique in the industry?
Sure. Yeah. And, like I said, I've been selling cloud backup services for a long, long time now. And the biggest difference today compared to even just 5 years ago is just the number of competitors out there. It's absolutely fierce. New competitors are arriving to the market all the time. Mm-hmm. So, for customers, it can be confusing, right? There's a lot of different brands. They're getting calls from all these different salespeople nonstop. So it's very important that customers, that businesses do their research before selecting a service provider. All right. So, and if I was a business out there, I'd look for somebody who had a successful track record. He's been successfully doing this for a number of years. Somebody who's made the financial investments in the technology, the data centers, the staff, the process. Somebody who can deliver the services across multiple geographies, because business is global now, right? There's not a lot of providers like us that can deliver these services in 10 different countries. We've got, global reach. We're on every continent. We've got data centers in many, many countries. So to have one organization that you can do business with that looks after you, and you get a single point of contact as an account manager, it's a quality of service that you're not going to see from a lot of our competitors. And one of the philosophies that we have that differentiates us as well is our fully managed and fully monitored philosophy. And what that means is we take full responsibility and accountability for protecting that data. So a lot of our competitors will set up a service and do it more as a self-help portal, right? They'll kind of get the service working, but then they're done. And for customers to restore data, they've got to log in themselves. They've got to go find it. It's up to them to get that data back. And sometimes the service provider will step in and assist, but they're certainly not taking a full hands-on approach. Whereas with Keep It Safe, again, our mentality is fully managed. So it's our responsibility to make sure backups are working successfully every single day. If we see any issues, we'll take the necessary actions to correct those processes. But most importantly, when a crisis situation hits and businesses need data restored, they need systems rebuilt, it's our job, right? And we don't sleep. We do not quit until that data gets back. And that alone separates us. So those are some of the things to look for.
I was about to say, you guys do all this, but from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, right? Like, no, it sounds like it's 24-hour operation.
Yeah, you have to be these days, right? There's no sense being a global organization if you can't deliver services around the clock. So you're absolutely right. It's a 24/7 support operation. As I said before, we've got support resources located in the U.S., in Canada, in Europe. We never stop, right? So you can always email us, call us. You'll get certified engineers to assist you. And like I said, we will not stop until we get those systems functioning for you.
Okay. So I certainly understand what you're saying, and I just want our listeners to understand, what it is that you're saying as well. Do you have any particular, testimonials or from a company or somebody who used your service or kind of a unique story that you might be able to share with our listeners about how KeepItSafe, really brought it all back for them? And do you have anything like that you could tell us about?
We've got countless examples of success stories from customers, globally. We've got customers that have been with us for a long, long time. Crawford and Company is one customer that comes to mind for me. So I'm based in Canada. Crawford and Company is the world's largest insurance adjusting firm, and we do business with their Canadian operation. And they've been doing business with us before we were KeepItSafe, but certainly when they joined KeepItSafe as well, its success has continued on. But Crawford's been doing business with us since 2004, and very successful. They spent a lot of money with us over the years. We deliver a lot of different services to them, and we've helped them through countless emergencies. There's a lot of examples of emergencies. I mean, just last week, I can think of a customer's email system crashed, and they called us in a panic because this happened in the middle of the day when the business was most in need of these critical systems.
Doesn't that always happen? It happens just when you need to. That's when it happens, Not at 3 a.m. when everybody's sleeping, you don't really worry about it. No, it always happens in the middle of the day. Yeah, exactly.
We get the 3 a.m. calls too. We get them all the time. In fact, it's surprising that a lot of them come on weekends. I don't know why. Maybe the customers' IT guys wait to call us on a weekend, but no, it does happen. In the middle of the day, we've saved many companies logging in, rebuilding systems on the fly. I can think of one situation, one of our customers called Exchange Technology Solutions. As I said, their email system crashed. I think we started working on it at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we nonstop. We rebuilt it. We were all hands on deck, and later that evening, I think it was about 10 p.m. that night, we got the system back up and running. Literally had to rebuild that system from scratch. Everything came up successfully, and emails started flowing.
What caused it? Do you remember in that case? What caused the crash like that? Was it just a normal system problem, or was it some sort of a I don't know, DDoS problem? I mean,
if memory serves, it was user error on the customer side. I don't know. I can't recall the exact details, but somebody hit a keystroke that they shouldn't have, and brought the system down.
They brought the whole system down? Gee.
The whole email system. So
what heck of a keystroke?
That happens. It happens frequently, right? User error causes a lot of issues. I mean, you get your share of power outages and fires and computer virus attacks and that sort of thing too. But human error is just as frequent as any of the other ones. Yeah,
but you would think they would have some protections in place other than having, of course, KeepItSafe. I mean,
and that's kind of the thing that makes something like KeepItSafe invaluable is you can train, the people all day long, but they're still human. They're still going to make a mistake here and there.
You got it. And it's funny because in my years of experience, people assume that the large companies, the largest companies in the world really have their act together. And I'm talking about, the biggest banks in the world, the biggest financial organizations, you name the company. The false assumption is that these companies have everything in place. They have all these redundant systems. They have all these backups and all these, mirrored servers and everything like that. But the fact remains that there's gaps everywhere. Every business is at risk. You can't possibly cover all the bases, and it has nothing to do with the size of the organization to minimize the risk. It's just how serious you take it, the investment, the care. The devil is in the details, and the more care that you take to make sure that you've covered all the bases, the better you're going to insulate yourselves from downtime.
Well, you mentioned a number of safety procedures, in that last two sentences, and I would think that a company that had all that in place would in fact feel secure. And you're saying no, that they need even more protection than having all that stuff. I mean, well, what? Go ahead.
So. We deliver an IT service, specialized around protecting data and IT systems. But the concept of business continuity has a much greater umbrella. And when I say business continuity, I mean not just keeping IT systems up and running, but also ensuring that business processes continue to function in a crisis situation. So, I mean, it's great that people have their IT systems. You can, yep.
Yeah, let me. Oh, it's Bob Meow. I should have asked you that question. I'm going to ask you that again at the flip side here. We're going to take a little break,
no problem,
and then we'll be right back. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are talking to KeepItSafe's regional sales manager Greg Onoprienko. We're going to be right back with him. We got a news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. Stay with us.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Oh, didn't you know she was going to do that?
Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Amzer Universal Stando tablet stand. Tablets can be a puzzlement when it comes to what to do with them when you're using them, and then what to do with them when you're not using them. They tend to eat up a lot of desktop space. When we travel, we take a Bluetooth keyboard so we can type faster and more accurately from mobile versions of many apps. But back at the desk, we tend to use the tablet for a more limited number of specific apps, from tracking incoming packages to our calendar to weather. We got in the Amzer Stando Universal Tablet Stand for review. It holds the corners of any 7-inch to 11-inch tablet with spring-loaded sliding grips, which are effective. The grip panel rotates freely in a full circle. It's on an adjustable tilt hinge to its more or less circular 5.5-inch wide base. It positions a tablet well for desktop use in tandem with a keyboard, though the stand may be too big and bulky for many people who want to pack it for travel. As a desktop stand for light use, it's a very handy platform. For more detailed use in email, reviews, or online shopping, it doesn't tilt back far enough for up-close use. Bottom line, the Amzer Stando tablet stand may not be as universal as its name suggests, but in several circumstances, it's an excellent choice. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Yeah, it was nice of Marty Winston to start that one out to talk to his dog. No, but welcome back to the Computer America Show. It's 30 minutes past the hour. And we have Greg here from KeepItSafe, and we're talking all about data backup right now with them. And right before the break, Craig actually had a question for Greg.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Do you want me to rephrase it again, or I think that
only if Greg doesn't remember how to, or what was that?
I'm not that old. Of course I remember. You asked me what's involved in keeping businesses up and running, not just the IT system. So I was going to give some background on that. And really the concept is, again, KeepItSafe is focused on protecting data, protecting IT systems in a crisis situation, getting those systems back up and running. But from a business perspective, that's only one slice of the pie, right? Just because your IT systems are functional doesn't mean your business is operational. I mean, if your building is a pile of rubble, your employees have nowhere to go. They have no desks or phones or areas to work. Maybe they're not equipped to work from home. There's no process. There's no procedures. Despite the fact your IT systems are running, you're still essentially out of business for days, could be weeks, could be months until you get back on your feet. So there's a lot of different aspects to consider from a business continuity perspective. KeepItSafe actually happens to have some specialists, some consultants who are trained and certified in business continuity consulting, so we can certainly help those businesses expand the scope outside of IT. But there's a lot of factors to consider. So we were talking about businesses who do a good job of protecting themselves in a crisis versus not so much, and that's really you got to start to think outside of IT. It's about getting the processes locked down, getting them documented, getting the staff trained, and rehearsing and testing and exercising, and make sure that everybody's clear and confident in their roles and responsibilities. Because when disaster strikes, panic ensues, and people really forget and they don't think clearly. So the better prepared you can be, the more rehearsed you are, the faster your business will respond. You'll get back up and running.
And it sounds wonderful. It sounds like you're looking at the whole picture.
Certainly.
From the ground up. And again, I'm asking this in the nicest way, though. Does everybody really need to be that prepared? I mean, if it's a company that's, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, is it necessary for all businesses to be over prepared or super prepared? That we have a nuclear strike. How much is too much? I guess is what I'm asking you, Greg.
Well, yeah, the answer is it's different for every business. Okay, and so the other thing I'll say is it always takes longer than you think to get back on your feet after a disaster. However fast you think it's going to be, you can double it or triple it in real life, and that's really the length of time it's going to take you to truly get operational. But again, the point is that every business is different. Some companies can tolerate 3, 4, 5 days a week, 2 weeks of downtime, right? They're maybe a slow company. They don't, they're not very transactional. They can afford some downtime, and it really won't hurt them. I don't know many companies like that. Most other companies that we deal with need data back very, very quickly, need their systems functioning. But to compare customers from even 3 or 4 years ago to customers today, it was acceptable a few years ago to have a 24 to 48 hour outage. If you told somebody back in 2010, hey, you know what, in a day or two we'll get your data back, we'll get your systems restored, life will be good. That was an acceptable time frame for a lot of businesses back then. But in 2015, that's changed.
Yeah, and so in other words, customer expectations then actually have changed with respect to data backup and recovery compared to a few years ago. You're saying it's completely. I mean, I don't find that surprising. I guess
we're in a society where people want instant gratification, right? Everybody's got they're glued to their phones. They want instant information, instant access everywhere. They want instant data restoration today. So to say to somebody today, you got to wait a couple of days to get your data back, it's not going to cut it. So for companies like us, for service providers like us, we've adapted very well to it. And so we, for example, we deliver a service today called KeepItSafe DR. This is a step up from the traditional KeepItSafe online backup service that we used to deliver, where with KeepItSafe online backup, we could restore data back to a customer location upon demand, whether it was a single file or rebuilding a system. We could get their data back to them. Now, the trick there is back to them. In other words, they had to have a building, they had to have equipment, they had to have internet access, they had to have a functioning site to receive that data. And in a crisis situation where buildings, crumble to the ground, then we've got nowhere to send that data to. So the business essentially is on pause until they get the equipment set up and are ready to receive that data again. So as a result, we introduced a service called KeepItSafe DR. And what that provides is not just the ability to restore data back to the customer location, but to be able to fail over those IT systems, those servers, into our cloud, into our data center, if they have any type of crisis at their end, right? So what that essentially does is it provides a high level of availability for their systems. So they're no longer dependent on having their site functional. As long as they have users that have computers that can get internet access, they can access these systems in our data centers. They can continue to run. So, and we can deliver those systems within a few hours. So, whether a business says to us, hey, it's okay if I can wait a day or two. It's not a big deal. They can get away with our traditional online backup service. That's at a lower price point and with a lower SLA. But if they need systems back within a couple hours, we've also got higher end solutions, premium services that are a little pricier, but again, deliver that higher level of availability. So you've got to deliver it to customers these days. That's our fastest growing service. People's expectations have changed, and that's separates the men from the boys, or the service providers that can actually deliver those premium services.
Greg, what if you're a bank? I mean, do you deal with banks at all, or are they in a whole different category?
We do deal with banks, and they are in a different category. Most banks can't tolerate any downtime. You have zero tolerance.
Yeah, really.
So it's a different solution where it's not just backing up and restoring data. Now you've got to have mirrored sites. So you've got to have literally live servers in multiple locations that can instantly take over from another failed system. So it's a different solution, different technologies. In fact, a lot of banks, when you get on that scale, they tend to manage those solutions in-house. They tend not to outsource those types of solutions just because they want full control over it. So it's a different, it's a different side of the coin. It's the same type of topic, but different technologies, different kettle of fish.
So you do or you don't deal with banks?
We have banks as customers. Not, I wouldn't say the largest banks out there. I mean, we've got banks such as UBS and a few others that do rely on us for data protection. But again, it's not either or. It's not you have a backup solution or a mirrored hot site, mirrored server solution. Many of those large organizations that can't tolerate downtime, they have many different types of solutions in place to mitigate all the risks.
I guess when you get to be that size, if you're talking like banks or even government agencies, I think they have to, I guess they rely on their own services, or can they contract some of them out to you? No,
we have a lot of government customers, school boards, healthcare institutions. They actually make good customers for us because they like to outsource. A lot of it in that situation is about keeping costs in line, and we can provide very high quality, cost effective services for those organizations. And those government entities tend not to have the same high level of expectations with their data as a bank would be. They're not the types of organizations that need instant access everywhere and mirrored systems everywhere. They can tolerate a bit of downtime, so they do make good customers for us.
What kind of pricing are you looking at here? I realize it's a general question. I realize there's so many different aspects to it, but typically an average size business using the KeepItSafe system, not necessarily the DS that you mentioned, but just the normal secure. How much? Or give me a general what they can expect to pay for your services.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, for our businesses, we've got pricing plans that start at $50 per month, and we've got organizations paying tens of thousands of dollars per month with us to protect, multiple sites and multiple terabytes of data. So, the answer is it's anywhere in between. We can accommodate businesses of any size. We've got the technology that addresses every segment of the market. So there's no size of business that we can't help. I would say most of our customers probably fall into a mid-market category where they might be spending I'm going to say a couple of $1,000s a month with us, sort of thing. But there's certainly no restriction. We can accommodate any type of business in any size.
Okay, so that begs the question: what do I get for $50?
Great question.
Yeah.
We our services are charged based on the capacity that we're protecting. All right, so it's all about how many gigabytes or terabytes or petabytes, for that matter, that we're protecting in our vault. So it's not based on how much data is sitting out at the customer location. We don't care about how many servers, what types of servers they are, how many locations. None of that affects our pricing. It's just about data that we're protecting in our vault. So for $50 a month, you would get, X number of gigabytes protected in our vault. And as you grow, as your business grows and you exceed that capacity, your fees would climb over time. But in my experience over the years, the price per gigabyte always tends to float down. And so what we typically see is that the monthly fees don't really increase. The fees tend to stay around the same. We just start to provide more and more capacity for the same price as the years go by. So the value stays intact.
So we're definitely in the petabyte generation now. Would you think? I mean,
we are indeed. Yeah, it's data's grown very, very quickly, and it's amazing. The rate of growth is incredible. But we are protecting petabytes and petabytes of data out there, and we don't see any end in sight. And that's just the way it goes. You outgrow your phones and your tablets and your computers because everything's getting bigger and faster and taking up more memory and more disk space. So that's just the computer age that we're in.
And what kind of cost does KeepItSafe incur to accommodate clients that now have petabytes of information? I mean, you have to keep it all. Granted, I understand the hard drives are getting more and more capacity, but still, that's a lot of data.
Yeah, it is, and as when customers tend to get past a certain size, the solutions and services start to get a little more customized. So we don't just have a kind of a standard pricing for larger customers. You tend to have to customize those solutions a little bit. There tends to be some more on-premise technology that you need to implement and manage. So it just the needs start to change. Because we're dealing with the internet. You just reach a certain size where you can't push a certain amount of data over the internet every day. So you have to kind of get a little more creative with the solution. So there's not one standard price that you can say applies to large customers with hundreds of terabytes or petabytes. It's once you get up to that size, everything's you got to take your time and get a little more creative with it.
Yeah, I was going to say because there's limited amounts of bandwidth available. I mean, what Netflix has taken 37% of the last number of
all. Man, Netflix got dragged to this somehow.
They're taking 37% of all internet bandwidth with the United States. I mean, it's amazing, and that's just Netflix. So and so obviously, if you have companies getting with this, petabytes of data, I mean, does it come down? You have to actually physically send them hard drives to get them back up. I mean, because downloading will take forever, I would think. How do you do that?
In some instances, you absolutely do have to ship hard drives. So with our solution, it works a little different from a lot of our competitors. We do actually restore a lot of data locally. So we provide an on-site hardware device in some situations where we keep a local copy of the vault there. So when there is a need for a data restore, it's usually happening over the local network. So it happens quickly and efficiently and painlessly. If for whatever reason the data is not sitting locally, then we absolutely have it in our cloud. And if we can send it over the internet, if there's enough bandwidth and the files are small enough, we can certainly fire them over the internet. In the event that we can't, we will download that data onto hard drives and FedEx it out, get it to the customer's doorstep, where our engineers will take over and make sure the systems are restored. Or of course, the other option that we've already talked about is forget about restoring data back to the customer, just fail over into our data centers, run from our facilities, and then everybody can kind of take their time and get things back in order the right way.
All right. So in that scenario, then when they say, okay, look, we just got to be up and running like tomorrow, we can't possibly download all this information, so they can start running from yours, updating the information, and while they're running on yours, are they downloading necessary information to kind of catch up? I mean, is that technically possible? Is that what they're doing? In other words, and then when they catch up, then they switch over from yours back to theirs? Is that how it happens?
Yeah, there's a whole resync process that our engineers manage. So I don't quite think it's as easy as just downloading while they're running from us. But there is a whole process that we fleshed out, and it's seamless, and we make sure we don't cut it back until we're confident everything is running properly and seamlessly on the other side.
Wow. And I would think the cost of that service then would be a lot more than $50 a month to do something like that.
Well, you know what? It's I mean, there is a premium price to get that failover service, but it is still based on a flat fixed monthly fee. So it's important for me to explain that KeepItSafe doesn't charge any type of failover fee. There is no data restoration fees. There are no extra support fees. There are no extra charges of any type. You can fail over as many times as you like. You can do as many data restores as you like. There's no cap, right? So everything is just based on the fixed monthly fee. We make it real nice and easy. We're not nickel and diming you to death. We're not sending you an invoice every time you need a file restored. It's a very easy pricing model, and our customers appreciate that.
I would think so. I mean, yeah. I'm glad to hear that you keep it simple and keep it straightforward, because I mean you can get feed death and in a scenario like that. So, but basically, well, I mean, obviously you have the technical expertise to do this, but basically you're a technological insurance is what you actually have. You're there, and you only use it when you need it. Was that a fair assessment of what KeepItSafe is all about?
I would say that's fair. What I would also say though is people use the service a lot more often than they think they would. I mean, we're constantly, knowing that there's no restore charges, and it's real easy to get a hold of us. A simple phone call or email, like I said, you'll get your data back. Our customers are using our service constantly, so it's not just this emergency service that they hope they're never ever going to use. Users are constantly deleting files by accident. You guys know that. You've probably deleted your own emails or Excel files or Word docs by accident, and you're scrambling to get them back, right? So
I've only deleted Ben's emails.
That wasn't an accident, though. Come on. But no, if you know that with a 3-minute phone call you can get stuff back, then it's real easy and you get comfortable with it. And we have great relationships with some of our customers. Maybe we get too cozy because they call us too much, but regardless, that's what we're there for.
Okay. So I think we're coming full circle to what KeepItSafe is all about. If you could boil it down to giving us what gives KeepItSafe a strategic advantage over your competitors, what do you think that would be?
Well, I think our experience, our premium service, the fully managed, fully monitored philosophy, the fact that we're a global organization, the fact that we're part of J2 Global, which is an extremely solid financial company. All of these things factor into our ability to deliver these services for years to come. There's a lot of consolidation happening in our industry. So again, you go back 5 or 10 years, the industry only had local providers. There were no national or international companies delivering these services. I mentioned a few minutes ago that there are so many competitors that have arrived in the marketplace now. It gets confusing for customers. But the consolidation has already started to happen. So what's going to happen over the next 2, 3, 5 years is that the number of competitors, I think, will start to diminish. Companies will start to be acquired. And it's just about picking the right organization to partner with. Switching costs are high. This is not a service where you want to be with KeepItSafe this month and switch to somebody else next month and somebody else the month after. I mean, you can save a few bucks here and there by bouncing around, but it's a lot of hassle to continue to switch service providers. So the idea is to do your research, do your homework, pick a company that you have a lot of trust, a lot of faith that they'll not only be able to deliver the service that you're looking for, but that they'll be around in 3, 5, 10 years.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And that's KeepItSafe. That's J2 Global. We not only are we're not going anywhere, but we're going to become the dominant provider globally. And you need to align yourselves with the right company, and we hope that people select us.
Well, that's the major concern. No, you're comfortable. You're with KeepItSafe, and the thing is, how in 10 years from now, how do you know? You pick up the phone one day and you're not there. So
that's it.
You gave us reasons. Well, I mean, that's probably one of the most important reasons that you're going to be around for a very long time. We didn't really get time to talk a little bit about KeepItSafe Mobile. We got about 2 or 3 minutes, so can you quickly talk just a little bit of what KeepItSafe Mobile is all about?
Absolutely. So in addition to protecting, IT systems, corporate systems, we also have KeepItSafe Mobile, and that's a service designed specifically to protect data on mobile devices. So, I mean, increasingly businesses are depending on their mobile devices to conduct business, whether it's their phones or tablets or laptops. The point is today, people are they're dead in the water when they lose their phone or their tablets, etc. So it's very important that you protect the data on those devices properly. KeepItSafe Mobile delivers those data protection services. So just like how the service works, every 24 hours we'll protect the data on those devices. We'll back it up. And furthermore, it's not just about protecting data, but it's also providing some remote management capabilities on those devices, such as remote wipe. If you lose your phone or you drop it in a lake or it gets stolen, it's nice to have that confidence that you can zap the device remotely and have GPS tracking and some other really nice features in those devices.
And that works with most any smartphone. I mean, or I know Apple iOS is really protected. You work with all Android and smart iPhones?
Yes, sir.
You do. Okay.
We do.
That is good to know. And again, typical cost for something for KeepItSafe Mobile is what?
Again, this starts to get into a per user per month fee, but it's call it $10 a month and up, depending on how many users you need protected and how much data we're talking about. So scales to the moon.
Got it. Exactly. Well, Greg, it's really, really interesting. All the different things you talked about with KeepItSafe, and I want to thank you for being with us here in this hour on the show. Again, the website is www.keepitsafe, just as it's spelled, keepitsafe.com. Or you can go to our website at computeramerica.com. We have it right there on our homepage. You can see KeepItSafe, and also in our archives page, we'll have links to the KeepItSafe website as well. So, Greg, again, thanks for being with us here. It was a pleasure having you here on the show, and again, it was very, very illuminating.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me on the show, and congratulations to you guys on a successful run with your program. Wish you many years of continued success, and look forward to listening to you guys. Yeah,
and if we ever have it, we need to back it up or keep it safe. We'll give you a call.
You got it.
All right, take care. Have a good evening. Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Good night.
Right. All right. So there you go. KeepItSafe.com, the website.
It's nice to hear about a company that's planned where they actually do take over the world. That's nice.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, now coming up in the next hour, I mentioned this. We're going to have a company called BindleChat, and Bindle actually is the name of the company, and they have a product called BindleChat, and it's a unique, different way of chatting on social media networks. We're going to have the company's founder, Chris Toy, is going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about BindleChat and what makes it different from other chat services?
Really tries to emphasize group chat. So with multiple people across multiple platforms, BindleChat might just be your go-to solution.
Yeah, it just might be. And as I mentioned, Chris Toy, who is the CEO and founder of Bindle, is going to be joining.
And then if we have time, we'll also do some of the more important news stories of the day.
Yeah.
If we get a chance.
Yeah.
So this hour, always good.
Right.
Stick around.
And what's it? Computer News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We might get some news stories as well. And also, we have another new News Tips Bulls review, all coming up on Computer America. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And interesting first hour there with Keep It Safe. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Backing up, we've always been an advocate of backing up here, but it goes way beyond just backing up. I mean, you can run your whole company with their services.
And I have a feeling this will not be the last time ourselves, Computer America and Keep It Safe cross paths, because they are so big. We're probably going to run into them at trade shows and the like. So you'll be hearing from them again. Yeah,
J2 is actually one of their main companies. As I said, we've had them on the show before years ago, and it's been a long time. So they've obviously grown enormously.
They've been doing stuff.
Yes, they have. They have been doing a lot of stuff. In the meantime, again, if you have a comment or question for anything that we're talking about, give us a call at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. We're in our chat room at ComputerAmerica.com. Just go to the show lounge and just click on that on the menu, or go to the full page option, and we'd love to see you in the Computer America chat room. And again, Ben has his full screen video. When we talk about websites, you can see them. We're actually demonstrating, because not only are we a syndicated radio talk show, we also have live streaming video, so you can actually watch us and see what's going on. Ben has the ability to display different websites, interact.
It's proved to be an invaluable tool to Computer America. Like I'm shocked that we haven't been doing it before, to have shared screen video. It's very, very helpful.
It is very helpful. Okay, and again, you can see all of that just at our website at ComputerAmerica.com. We have it right there on the homepage. Matter of fact, it's on just about every page. You go and click on it, you can actually see the video. All right. So again, thanks to Keep It Safe, Greg Anaprienko from Keep It Safe. So in this hour, we're going to kind of shift gears and talk a little bit about chatting ability. Now, we're going to be talking about a company called Bindle. And BindleChat is a group chat the way it should be. According to Bindle, BindleChats are designed to support large groups for any purpose. People have started chats for everything: their families, best friends, fantasy leagues, fraternities and sororities, wedding or trip planning, religious congregations, college lectures, and so much more. The format is similar to a chat room, but they've added tools like GIF support. You can insert pictures into the chat room, image search, and GIF search in the app, private messages inline, and linked previews for YouTube videos and news articles. That's very cool. Plus, BindleChat gives you control over when to send notifications to the entire chat and when to receive them from the chat. I mean, look, Ben and I have been hosting and doing chats and I've been doing them almost as long as the show's been on the air, and I've seen many different types of chat rooms, and we're using one currently now that I'm not particularly wild about, and I think we may be upgrading it. But
it may not be Mr. Right, but it's Mr. Right now, and that chat room is doing us just fine. Talk to you.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, here to talk about the BindleChat is Bindle's CEO and founder, Chris Toy. Chris, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. How are you?
Okay,
We're doing good.
We're good. And so you heard me introduce Bindle a little bit. Why don't you tell our listeners in your own words what Bindle's all about?
I think you explained it pretty well. Bindle is a group chat application, and while there are quite a lot of apps, messaging apps especially, that you can create a group chat on or group text on, none of those are really designed from the ground up to facilitate group communication. Those are really one-to-one text messaging applications that you can make a group on, and that leads to some strain pretty quickly. If you imagine ever dreaming of having 500, 1,000 people in a group text, that just wouldn't work. But that is the size of some of the group chats that we have on Bindle. So we've redesigned it from the ground up to be scalable and flexible, really for any use at any size. And that's really what makes us different to other messaging apps, which really have groups as sort of a sub-function rather than the core feature.
Well, okay, now let's back up here for a minute. I mean, just try to imagine you're in a large room and you have maybe 5 or 10 people, maybe, or 7 people. You can probably have a group conversation, no problem. But as you say, you put 500 people in that room or 1,000 people in that room. Everybody.
See, I'm just picturing like a crowded restaurant where you can talk at your table, but to talk to the whole room.
Exactly. In other words, then it gets wieldy. You can't really hold conversations with everybody talking at once. And for the most part, that's what chat rooms are. In most chat rooms, anytime a member who is in that chat room feels inclined to type something or quote say something, they just do so. And if again, with 5 or 10 people in there, that's manageable. But when you have 50, 100, 500, 1,000, it just I don't see how you can act. I mean, you'll have different conversations going on at different times. It really would be quite unmanageable. So I guess my first question to you is, Chris, is how do you manage a large group of people with BindleChat? What mechanisms are you using to put some kind of organizational into this thing?
Right. Yeah, I mean, the conversation that you and Ben just had, or the points you were making just now, are literally the ones that I had of myself and then had of my team before we started Bindle. Because we looked at this and I said, excuse me, right now we have kind of in the digital communication spectrum, on the one end we have messaging, right, and like text messaging, or even apps like WhatsApp or WeChat or Line, which is maybe anywhere from 2 to 10 people, say. And that works just fine. And then you swing all the way to the other side where you're involving much larger numbers, and you've got things like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, where you might have hundreds or thousands of followers, but the conversation dynamic is really more of a broadcast dynamic. I have something to say, I'll just shout it out there, and then you guys kind of pick it up. It's not really a conversation. It's not really a group communication. And looking at those two ends of the spectrum, I was really interested in what's in the middle, which is really truly group communication, which is exactly what you guys said. If you had 1,000 people in a room, if you had 50 people at a dinner party, if you had 100,000 people in a city, how does this really work in real life? And what would the mobile version of that be? Not even the digital version, but the mobile version of that. Given the tools that you have in front of you, you have a very limited space on your phone. You have push notifications, obviously key to facilitating conversations, but they are very sort of binary products. So there's a lot of challenges, definitely. But that's why we're making Bindle. That's what makes us different, is our ability to handle that. So, we have a number of our core features are in, and we have a few more rolling out soon. But all of them are focused on doing exactly what you guys highlighted, which is how do you take a group of 50, 500, 5,000 let alone 5 million someday, hopefully, and allow them to organize and communicate and keep track of everything. And really what it comes down to is we lean very much on true group dynamics as they happen in real life. If you had 5,000 people in a room or 500 people in a room, they wouldn't sort of have one conversation. They wouldn't even try, right? I mean, maybe if it was like a speaker or something, but that's a different dynamic. They would immediately break themselves off into smaller conversations and kind of self-limit and self-select. And so we do that by simple features like the @mention. So, a lot of people credit Twitter with inventing the @mention, but it's actually a chat room feature from the 80s and 90s, really, to be able to @someone, and that way they get a little notification, in the chat room, a little ding or a little message that someone's mentioned them. On Twitter, it works the same way, and it makes sense. And then for Bindle, we had the same thing. So if I am in a room with 1,000 people, excuse me, and me and Ben want to talk to each other, and we're mentioning each other back and forth, only Ben and I will get the notification on our phone. So we're not bothering everybody else because we're having a one-to-one conversation.
That's
likewise, if I mention 5 people, it's a 5-person conversation. So you can kind of break yourself down. Even though everyone can see that conversation, the key thing on a mobile device is when and how you choose to send a push notification, because that's really the difference between mobile and web. And so if you had 500 people talking and you were getting a notification, your phone was buzzing every single time, that would be insane, and that would never work. And so we have to provide these tools that allow people to proactively choose when they're sending notifications to certain people, and then on the settings side, they can also customize how they receive notifications. And so that's really a big part of it. And then we also have a feature called Whisper, and we've done that a little bit differently too. So if you're using a group text and you have a group text with, say, four of your friends, and you have something that you want to say just to Ben, you would have to go start a new one-on-one conversation with Ben and say, hey Ben, like that was a funny joke, or like what time is dinner, or really anything, and basically start a brand new conversation. Whereas for us, we're very focused on keeping the conversation immersive. So our Whisper feature doesn't require you to start a new conversation in the app. You just do /whisper @Ben, and it sends him a private message sort of in line to the chat. So we really try and keep everything in the same space, and we do think of it like real life. So I think of the difference between us sitting at a table and me and Ben talking and you listening in, and I think of the difference between us sitting at a table and me and Ben. I lean over to Ben and whisper something in his ear that is only meant to be for Ben's hearing. And there's a lot of cues that we take from real life dynamics and try and replicate those in Bindle with features. And that's been working really, really well, because those real life dynamics kind of are how people feel comfortable communicating in those groups anyway.
It sounds to me like, well, because you were describing basically a private message. I'm in a normal chat and I'm looking and I see all the users and I see Ben. In most chat rooms, I can double click the name and the user list of all the people who are in that room, and then it'll open up a separate window and I can say, hey Ben, how are you? And it's just a private message to Ben. We don't leave the chat. He's still in there, but he gets a separate notification that, and he can chat me back and everything independent of everybody else seeing it, right? So. Right.
That's exactly how our Whisper feature functions. And so we have taken cues from these chat rooms. I mean, the same style that you guys use for Computer America, and we do take some cues from that and think, okay, how do we package that up and make it better for the modern day and the modern internet, but especially on a mobile device, because the chat room is a big influence for us, because I do believe that the chat room is actually the most successful group chat medium that we've invented to date. Is the chat room. It's not the text message or the group text. It's the chat room. And if you look at a lot of the functionality that drives the likes of Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, the hashtag, the @mentions, all that kinds of stuff, all of that came from chat rooms. So we're kind of just taking more inspiration and going to the root of that and saying we really want to take this, but rebuild it for the modern time, I guess.
Well, again, if you take go into the Wayback Machine here and you go to America Online, go to America Online where chat rooms really were.
Oh, please no.
They were the kind of like the one of the main functions of America Online. It didn't start out that way, but it kind of grew that way. And you would have a name list on the right, and then you'd have a little thing where you could type and you could see who's in there. And then if you wanted to, you could do a private message to that one person, and then continue on. And that sort of has been the foundation or the concept behind chat rooms. That was obviously with some variations, but that's always seems to be the base thing. The other thing is that AOL had something, a moderated chat room, where they would have, they'd have a big name star come in, and they couldn't have everybody just, hitting that person with questions. So it was a moderated chat room and so basically you'd have one or two people who there were moderators, and they would and then you would ask a question, but it wouldn't go out to everybody. The moderator would handpick that particular question and then say, okay, that's good. And then that would pass it on to the guest that was in there. And then everybody, they would see the answers. Does BindleChat fall somewhere in between that? Because I'm still having a tough time wrapping my head about how we have 500 to 1,000 people or even more in a chat room without having total pandemonium.
Yeah, I mean, and we can go over with some examples of that. And some of them are private chats and some of them are public chats. And really, for Bindle, it's less about, it is, if you look at it and use it, it will remind you of a chat room. But for us, it's really a messaging app. It's something which you can use as a chat room, but you can also use it as a group text. And like we said, we have people using it for, when you think of chat rooms, you think of interest-based chats, right? So or specific communities,
sure.
like a Computer America, or maybe you like the NBA or something like that.
Right.
And for Bindle, we actually have those, but we also have the vast majority of it of our chats are created for either groups of friends or existing communities or digital communities who are forming. And so they're more like a group text, except they are actually usable. So we have one example of a person who's using it for his entire tennis academy. He's a very high level tennis player, and he always travels around the country playing tennis and meeting all these people, and they don't really keep in touch. They just see each other at the tournaments. And so he fired up a BindleChat. Every chat has a unique hashtag deliberately to make it easy to distribute. And so he's just been telling these guys, hey, download this app and come join hashtag whatever. And that's where a bunch of us players from the circuit are chatting. And everyone joins. And so, is that a chat room? Sure. It's also just a group text. It's also just a group chat. It's just a way to connect. And that's kind of the main thing with Bindle is we're in the connected era now, right? Well into the connected era where everyone's a Facebook friend, everyone's a Twitter follower, everyone has Twitter followers. We have so many connections. With Bindle, we're really trying to create the medium that kind of rides those connections and actually facilitates engagement and communication in a real way. It's not just me kind of selectively choosing tweets or photographs to share, but actually having conversations with people. And so, around certain contexts or locations. And so within like some of these larger chats, again, our average chat size is well into the 30s or 40s. And we have plenty which are over into the hundreds, and a whole bunch which are now into the thousands, which is where it gets really interesting. And they haven't been a problem. And we haven't even rolled out a bunch of our most of our features, which are really gonna continue to allow that to scale. So we're gonna allow you to make specific chat rooms within larger chat rooms, or specific chats within larger chats, and that way you take a chat that's 1,500, 10,000 people. They can already break themselves off into smaller chats, which are 20 people, 10 people, 200 people, and really giving that flexibility. Again, is more how we plan to address this. It's not about how do you let 1,000 people talk simultaneously. That's never going to work.
Yeah,
but it's really about making it easy for them to come together, and then making it easy for them to fragment the conversation into manageable chunks.
Yeah, I'm with you, because again, I still couldn't conceive how 1,000 people could be talking with each other at the same time without having total ineffective pandemonium. But are these people all online at that particular moment? Like most chat rooms, you have to be logged in and online.
Yeah, you pop in, you pop out, you can, you navigate away.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why it's again, it's different. I mean, the closest thing you would think of would be a chat room and how that works, but this is much more like a messaging app or a group text, because you're never not online as long as you have your phone. Right? If I wanted to text you right now, would you consider yourself being online or offline from iMessage or WhatsApp? Not really. Like, you're just you're always available, right? You're pretty much never offline because it's just a matter of sending the message and then you getting the notification. And so, the era we're in when it's mobile first is really that everyone's always online, and that should be magical. That should be amazing. That should be something that we say, hey, what can we create here that brings people together? Because people, in theory, are always together because they're always online, right? If you think about those chat rooms, if everybody from that chat room was just permanently in there, how strong should that, would that community be? How great would the conversations be? And that's kind of what the potential is now that everyone has a smartphone in their pocket. So it's a really, it's a old concept, but completely refreshing in its application now because of the mobile device. Where now everyone is now online permanently, and we see these chats are actually active 24/7. It's kind of insane, but just round the clock, people just talking and talking and talking and talking, because it's less about me being here. It's just I'm always here. If I'm awake, I'm here, and so that's allowing for some really awesome constant communication that these guys are having.
But if it's because your phone is on or you're online, you're connected with your phone, doesn't necessarily mean that I am available to hold a chat. I might be in a business meeting, or I might be, I don't know, somebody in the bathroom.
Might be asleep for once.
Asleep or something, even though I have the phone on. So, how do you deal with situations like that? Or do you just
totally. But it's really no different to how you would have to again, like manage your email or your text. I mean, I don't know how many emails you get, but I get a lot of emails. So at night, I usually put my phone on sleep mode, or I'll turn off the notifications before I get to bed, because I usually get a ton of emails all through the night. Or I have I have a lot of friends in Hong Kong, where I'm originally from, and they tend to message me during the day their time. It's a 12-hour swing. So I'm in bed as my friends in Hong Kong are all having a great time texting each other, and I'm getting a ton of texts. So I think this is actually a fairly common thing for many apps these days, is just getting notifications when you don't want them. Because again, even Twitter, if you happen to have international followers on Twitter who mention you, you'll get those. So it hasn't been a problem for our users. We haven't actually heard from anyone that getting notification overload has been a problem, because we spend a lot of time providing them with tools to customize those notifications, and also, again, with features like the app mentioned, where people have learned to use it to cut down on the amount of notifications. So if you're in a chat room with 700 people right now, and they're all talking, you're actually getting very, very few notifications for the most part, because those users are mentioning each other, which means that no one else gets a notification other than that other user. So you're getting way less notifications than if that was a group text, because where you would get a notification for every single message, regardless of if that message was for you. So there's a lot of stuff that we put in there that's really greatly reduced that impact. And then at the end of the day, if the chat room is busy and people are talking about whatever in your chat, and you want to go to bed, you can just sort of mute it or put your phone in sleep mode, and it should be really no different to how you would handle any other app that messaging app or email that's coming through when you don't want it, or if you're in a meeting.
Sure. No, I understand. All right. So it's called BindleChat, but technically it's really not a chat in the traditional sense of a chat room. Is that a fair statement?
Well, it is group chat.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you and it's something that we, anytime you're creating something new, you have to sort of struggle to classify yourself and respect the fact that you're trying to build something new. And so really our two choices are, are we a chat room that can be used for personal use, or are we a messaging app that happens to be able to scale to very large numbers? And really, we're a messaging app that happens to be able to scale to very large numbers. And it just happens that the format that we chose to kind of take as a base, as inspiration, is the chat room format. So, if you said, what is Bindle? I would not say it's a chat room app. I would say that it's a messaging app.
Okay,
but it's a new kind of messaging app, because for the most part, if I say, hey, who do you use a messaging app with? Right, 90% of people, 99% of people will say, I use a messaging app with friends and family, and that's it. Right. Yeah. Whereas for Bindle, it's friends and family plus internet friends plus communities plus alumni from your school plus your church. There's a ton of groups in your life that can be connected much more easily on Bindle than other messaging apps. You know, for example, we have a lot of success with the gaming community right now, especially the online gaming community. People play mobile games, Clash of Clans, Vainglory, stuff like that. And a big reason for that, or Xbox Live even, and a big reason for that is Bindle's designed to be a modern sort of like internet social dynamic friendly product. And so stuff like the fact that every chat has a unique hashtag and your user account only requires you to have a username, doesn't require your phone number, means that it's very friendly to internet friends. And so if I meet, 20 people online who I'm playing a video game with, I can make hashtag, my team and tell them, hey guys, come join hashtag my team on Bindle and let's chat about the game. And they can come join that. And I never need to add them on Facebook. I never need to share my personal information. I don't need their information. We can just make it about the context for our friendship and our relationship and the conversation that we're going to have. And that's been really good for the mobile era where people are making a lot of friends who they don't really want to know, in any kind of like personal information way. Bindle's kind of perfect. And so it's becoming very, very popular with gamers for that reason, where they're meeting a ton of people and those same people they may not want to hang out with next week. And so they can kick them out and, no harm, no foul. I haven't shared my phone number with 700 people who I no longer want to have my phone number. So there's a lot of stuff at play here, which sort of greases the wheels of how the internet works today.
Okay.
Yeah, I never really gave it much thought to gaming, but nowadays, like you really don't even want to give away your Skype username at this point, because even that is a little risky. But something like this, you're right. You meet people one week and they're not available the next week, or you don't have to talk to them the week after, and to just be able to invite them in and kick them out would definitely be a very useful way, because obviously a lot of the games that we play, the chat, it really isn't useful when you're not in the game. So if you're just walking around town, but your friends want to get a hold of you, something like Bindle would be really helpful, because obviously you're not on the game. So it's I never even thought of that. That's a great point.
Yeah, and it's teams and clans. If you're a gaming nerd, you'll know what I'm talking about. But teams and clans and guilds and all these guys. And like you said, there's always in-game chat, but that only helps you when you're all in the game. And so there's a whole, the majority of your time, hopefully, is spent doing other things. But you might still be chatting and talking with the team and organizing and planning and saying, and I grew up, a gamer my whole life, a lot of online games, and that was a big inspiration for Bindle. Was sort of these in-game chat lines where I would log on to these games and I wouldn't even play the game. I would just like talk with my friends on the game for hours and just like hang out essentially online. And I actually compare that to life now, where we're all connected by our phones and we're all kind of living our life. We're also logged onto the game, but we can carry on these other completely separate conversations kind of alongside it. And that was a big inspiration for Bindle, trying to provide a product which can create these spaces essentially to hang out in on your phone that didn't feel like it was, texting back and forth, and it didn't feel like it was just mindlessly broadcasting my thoughts on Twitter or taking photos of my food on Instagram and all these really fairly lightweight engagements. I wanted it to feel like it was this place for people to hang out, kind of like chat rooms and message boards, did in the Wayback Machine. Which I found much more satisfying, when I was growing up. So, it's a messaging app for sure, but we think there's so much more value that can come from messaging on your phone than just hitting up friends and family. And so that's really what we're trying to build. So we've been really happy with how people have responded and used and taken to it at, when the chats are hundreds, about thousands of people. And we're about to roll out features that we hope enables chats to reach, tens of thousands and eventually millions of people. And at that point, like I said, it's not going to be about a million people having one conversation. It's going to be about a million people coming together for a particular reason, a particular context in the Bindle chat. And then they're going to fragment off into different groups and different conversations right away. So the hope is that, there's a Bindle chat for New York City. There's a Bindle chat for San Francisco, and the entire city is on it, but they've all broken down into neighborhoods and locations and job functions and all kinds of stuff. That's really the long-term vision is to be able to provide a product that can be a communication tool at that scale.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about some of the features in BindleChat. You before you mentioned you talk about something called an emote, and these are not emoticons or emoji. What are these?
Oh wait, real quick though, we're about to run headlong into a break, and I don't want you being cut off. So
all right, so let's do that. We'll come back. We'll lead with that, and then we'll continue on, Chris, and then we'll come back. So we're gonna take a little break. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are talking to Chris Toy. He is the CEO and founder of Bindle. They make a product called BindleChat, and we're kind of talking about the intricacies of this. It's really not a chat. It's really not a messaging service. It's really something else, and we're discussing that. We'll also talk about some of the unique features that you can have. In other words, can you delete what you've just posted? This is Computer America. We'll be right back with them. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
And a thank you, boys. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America. This time, the Anova Precision Sous Vide Cooker. You or your significant other may have heard of sous vide cooking, but so many people think it's just another kind of crock pot. Well, that's a crock, and we'll tell it our way. In the sous vide pot, the only thing you cook is water. It's the water that cooks the food, and the water never touches the food. The food is in either a sealed plastic vacuum pouch, sous vide means in a vacuum, or you can carefully lower in a press-to-seal bag so the water forces the air out, and you seal the top to keep the water out. Either way, the trick is to carefully maintain the water temperature at precisely the end point appropriate to the food, like 170 degrees Fahrenheit for poultry or 150 for beef. So how do you maintain that precise a temperature and keep the water in the pot circulating? We got in the Anova Precision Cooker, a tall cylinder about half the size of a baseball bat that plugs in for power, clips to the side of the pot, and provides the heater and pump that lets sous vide cooking happen. A companion app has recipes. When you find one you like, a touch connects to the cooker over Bluetooth and sets the time and temperature, really just the temperature, automatically. A digital display atop the cooker shows the current and target temperatures and confirms Bluetooth pairing. Bottom line, the Anova Precision Cooker is a compact way of getting into the world of easy, perfect, essentially foolproof sous vide cooking. It's Marty Winston with the News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour. Thank you, Marty Winston. Glad he was able to check out that sous vide cooking. That I always thought that looked interesting, that you cook with the temperature of the water and not with an open flame or an open heat source. It's just that, it's just the temperature of the water. So you get like these eggs that are like perfectly, 140 degrees. It's leads to some weird creations, but
it sounds interesting. By the way, I have a question for you. What are you invisible? I don't see you.
I am invisible. Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on that.
Okay. All
yeah.
right.
But as we were saying, welcome back to the Computer America Show. Chris Toy is here. He's the CEO and founder of Bindle. Sounds like he was also the one to, come up with the grant. Well, I guess CEO and founder comes up with, coming up with a grant, pulling all of his past experience into making something that mobile apps really don't have. Because just like you said at the top of the hour, a lot of chat apps are meant to be one-to-one, and when they do add group chatting, it's an afterthought. It's kind of thrown in there, and it's not very useful, especially when you get to the kind of numbers that you guys are able to handle. A lot of our listeners are used to IRC chat, and it sounds like a lot of the commands and the hashtags and the ats and things like that, /whisper /message. A lot of this stuff works as well, which is very, very cool for those who are tech savvy or just used to the old way of doing it. Really cool that you guys were able to incorporate that as well. But and we're just getting into Bindle. And by the way, I'd never thought about using the Bindle, like I guess the package, the Bindle, as a mascot. I don't know how you did it, but you made a bag look cute. So kudos to that. But but
we have comment based on it.
Yeah. But we're just about to get into the features, and Craig asked, what is this? I believe he said emotes.
Yeah. In other words, an emoticon is like a colon and a parenthesis. It's their text characters, and then the emoji are actual little pictures and images and then you're talking about emotes.
Which I guess gamers would be very familiar with.
It is a little nod to the gaming, and something that's important in kind of how we build Bindle in general is we're always trying to build it in a way where how can we give the smallest number of features that open up the maximum number of behaviors. It's kind of how we look at things. So again, just taking the hashtag for the chats, it seems like a simple thing, but it's unique to Bindle. Right, where it has the most easily recognized. There are other messaging apps where the chat, if you want, you can pull a unique ID, and the unique ID is like XYZ dot 7 numbers, and it's not really the most friendly or easy thing to use. We lean on the hashtag to make it the easiest thing to distribute. So you can tweet it, you can tell people it, you can say it on TV, and it all works. That's kind of a good example. So something like the emoticons, and even just kind of non-verbal, it is verbal, but expression within the chat is really important, and it is one of those things which also helps with the large groups, giving multiple ways to express yourself, let alone multiple ways to communicate. So we have the in-app GIF search, we have in-app sticker search. GIFs are obviously a huge part of today's communication currency. We have emoji, and then we have the emote function, and like Ben said, it's a familiar thing to people from IRC or gamers, and really it was the original precursor even to emoticons, where you essentially typed out the expression instead of just using a symbol. So, /emote is happy would put in Chris is happy. /emote, really needs a cup of coffee, puts out Chris really needs a cup of coffee. So it's really sort of a way to put out a custom expression. And really, even though it's written, it does feel like a nonverbal communication. And we want to kind of give that open feel to people. And it's been interesting watching how people use it. A lot of them just use it the way that's intended. So they'll use it to sort of create custom emoticons, even though they're written. But now a lot of people take advantage of the fact that the message displays differently. It displays in color text, and it displays centered in the chat. And so a lot of people are using it to accompany and caption photographs to kind of give it center stage. So we really try and create these features like emoticons and emotes, and think it through to where it just puts another little wrinkle, another tool in the toolbox of these users to create different kinds of expressions within chat. And that, again, goes a long way to allowing a 500,000 person chat to have dynamism and flexibility and different kinds of communication happening within the chat. So it's not just walls of text amongst people. And then eventually we're also going to allow our users to upload their own emoticons, actual images. So if you want to put a photo of Ben's face, you know, as an emoticon, you could upload that and start using that. So we really want to provide that flexibility to our users and allow them to customize their experience.
Okay. So now, when you have a room with 500 people or 1,000 people, or I mean, it happens even with 10 people, once in a while you'll get someone who is a pain in the chat.
Most pleasant of chap.
Yes, and is becoming unruly or disruptive. Can you evict that person or kick them out? What mechanism do you have to do that?
You can, and this is a great one to talk a little bit about as well, because you know, this is a common thing on a message board or a chat room. You would want to say, oh, can I ban this person? Can I kick them out? And absolutely you can. You know, we have admins, and the admins can appoint a moderator or moderators, and those moderators can kick people out, and they can kick them out once or kick them out permanently, really up to them. So even if it's a 10-person family chat and you want to make, you know, your uncle the moderator and your uncle kicks out your cousin, like, I mean, that's a little weird, but but you totally could if you wanted. You could if you wanted to. But that's sort of the simplistic view, and this is sort of the way that you know, we look at things, and what our duty is to try and reflect, again, that flexibility and that that dynamism to the social dynamics in Bindle. You know, we're putting out a feature which is not just about letting you kick people out, but also, like I said, on a mobile device, it's really about the notifications. I mean, if someone's truly like just behaving badly, you might want to kick them out. Great. But more than likely, there's more common is going to be this gray area, which is, you know, we all have, if you were to go out to dinner and there's one friend who's just super loud, even if it's just that night, happens to be super loud, super into it, just talking constantly, shouting, you know, talking to one other person and kind of really overbearing the whole meal. You know, you don't want to just say, hey, guy, we're not friends anymore, but you wouldn't mind telling them to kind of be quiet, or we wouldn't mind being able to shut that person out even for one evening. And so we're really going to take that approach to our notifications and let our users choose to sort of promote and demote the notification priority for different users. So if tonight you, me, and Ben and 10 other people are in the chat, and Ben's just being super, super chatty tonight, I can hold down on his username and kind of mute him. And that wouldn't mute him as far as me no longer seeing his messages. It would simply mute his notifications, so that if Ben's just firing off messages constantly, he's not blowing up my phone. And then, of course, if I really didn't want to just ignore Ben completely, I could. But more than likely, that's less common. It's gonna be that just super active guy that you maybe don't want to let blow up your phone, even though you want to leave the rest of your notifications on. So these are some kind of the interesting social dynamics that, you know, we try and build for with Bindle. And again, it's a unique challenge when you try and build for that on a mobile device, where the notification, you know, the sound and vibration notification is really the main thing you have to think about, really more so than what happens in the chat itself, in the app itself.
Well, now, let's say for some reason you're not happy with the chat, can you delete it and start a new one, or remove the chat? I mean, if you only have like 10 or 15 people in there and you're not happy with it and you want to change it, I mean, how much administrative control do I have over Bindle chats?
You have everything. I mean, our goal is really that we're building a platform, and we want to give you the tools to tweak and adjust and make your Bindle chat the experience that you want it to be for the people who join it, and to also give tools to those people who join it and let them have the ability to tweak and adjust and make that experience what they want it to be. You know, and again, kind of reflecting real life. If I, you know, my interest and the way I want to experience a chat about something I'm really into, like soccer, may not be the same way that I want to experience a chat that I'm kind of into, like the NBA finals, right? I mean, my desire of how the frequency of how I want to experience that chat may be very, very different and we really want to allow people to customize that. And so as a chat owner, I guess, or administrator, whether it's for 3 of your friends or 30 people or 300, you're going to have first dibs on all of that. So you can delete it whenever you want. You can change certain settings so that only certain people can see certain messages, and you'll be able to customize it, change the background image, potentially even change the font size and stuff like that as well. So really wanting it to be something where you can create this space. I talked before about our goal. We think about it. How can I give you essentially your own digital space, your own digital home, on Bindle, and that means we have to let you make it your own and make it look and feel and behave the way you want it to.
Okay. Well, I don't necessarily mean to harp on the negative side of chats, but again, you're dealing with people, and that will happen. You have a mechanism to kick somebody out of chat, and I assume but only the chat creator can kick users out of chat, correct? And then that's correct assumption, right?
Well, the chat creator definitely can.
Okay.
So the chat admin is sort of the super user.
Yeah.
And then that admin can also appoint moderators.
Okay.
So if I wanted to appoint
100
moderators, I can appoint 100 moderators.
Okay.
And those guys can also kick people out.
So you can kick the person out. Now, once you kick somebody out, if they want to come back into the chat room, can they still do that? Or some chats I know look at an IP address. They look at things because somebody will just go out and change your name or something, and come back in.
I would think that'd be a little bit harder with an app because you get a set username.
Yeah. So right now, if you kick someone out, you can kick them out. So we say we can kick them once or kick them permanently. Kick them once is sort of teaching them a lesson. So there's 2 mechanisms to get into a Bindle chat right now. I'm going to be adding to these. Either it's an open chat and you can just kind of come in and out as you please, or it's a closed chat and you have to knock. And then when you knock, someone from within the chat has to let you in essentially. And so if you kick someone out permanently, you can kick someone out permanently from both. So if I kick you out permanently, you can't even knock back. You're just banned from even engaging this chat period.
So the 2 terms, and what's kicking is temporarily, and then banning means they can never come back in. Are those the terms that you use?
Well, both ways it's kicking. Just kicking once and then kicking permanently.
Okay.
So
and then kicking them really hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's kind of like if you think of a bar. I'm going to kick you out, and if you're too drunk, or you kick you out and say don't come back, and that's really put your photo on the wall, and then you're done. So the moderation thing, it's not negative at all. This is a part of regular life, and certainly a part of internet life. And so the moderation features are really important to us. And so it's not just about being able to kick people out, but also we facilitate the users policing themselves. So if a user gets reported a certain number of times, they'll automatically be muted, stuff like that. So all these little bits and pieces are about not taking such big swings, I guess, with some features, and saying that basically either you can say whatever you want or I'm going to ban you. There's kind of a lot of gray area in between that for managing behavior.
Okay, well,
so we try and provide more features that allow for that gray area.
Now, what about let's say, now you're talking about individuals. What if say you want to ban a whole country, like you want to ban everybody from Russia or something like that? Okay. Can you do a geographical thing, or is it only on a user by user basis?
Right now, it's only a user basis, but we really pride ourselves very heavily on listening to our community of users. We get dozens of suggestions and tickets every single day from them saying, "Hey, how about this? How about that?" So, if you would like the ability to ban an entire country from your Computer America chat, I'll put that in for you. It's doable. It's doable. It's a little weird. I don't know, but it's doable.
Well,
certainly it could be.
Yeah, there's a nugget of a good idea in there where maybe a geographic only chat room, like you were saying that maybe members of a city, that would be a good way to do it.
Yeah,
exactly. So geofencing, and that's something that absolutely is going to roll out. If I want to say, hey, I only want people from the geographic region that makes up Stanford campus can join this chat. We want to be allow you to do that. If I want to say I only people from New York or Boston, or this zip code, is a straightforward one. We are going to allow stuff like that for sure. And yeah, I joke around.
Yeah.
There are plenty of communities who would want to not necessarily just explicitly exclude other people, but would want to restrict it to only a specific community.
Well,
it's not about being exclusive. It's more about just sort of making sure that the community is filled with people that that it's meant to, and knowing that that's the case.
Well, one of our chat room participants, Fort Netflix, he's had to ban all of Russia. So obviously, you had a reason for doing it. So
we here at Computer America love Russia. Don't listen to these people.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we didn't do it.
We've had a lot of interesting. We have a lot of international users, and I mean, conflicts haven't come up yet, but I'm sure they will.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of the human condition. Now, can anyone access Bindle from any device? What devices are you supporting right now?
Yeah, so right now we're cross-platform as far as iOS and Android, and then we will be rolling out either a web or a desktop version, and then we have Windows Phone and everything else kind of a little bit lower down the list. But iOS and Android right now, and then some sort of desktop version next.
Okay.
So the goal is cross-platform. Absolutely.
What does Bindle cost?
It's free. Yeah, it's a free app, no advertising.
So I guess that begs the question: how are you gonna make money with Bindle?
Well, we're an early stage startup, so the name of the game is investment. For the foreseeable future.
Got it.
We're really just focused on building a really good product. I mean, there are a ton of different ways to monetize a well-used product. So I'm not too worried about that. And my background is digital marketing anyway, so I've got some ideas.
Excellent.
And just like you said, first you get the users and then you get the money. But how has the user thing been going? Have you guys been seeing any growth lately?
Yeah, actually, the last month has been kind of insane. So we had our formal launch in February, and we're still kind of rounding out the product. So some people even still consider us to be like beta-ish. I mean, the heavy gamers consider us to be beta-ish. But our formal launch is February, and in the last 4 to 6 weeks, I would say, we're having close to 900% growth, which is a pretty big number. And that doesn't look like any signs of slowing down. So it's been an insane month or so, and a lot of that right now is being driven by these sort of very internet-heavy communities, gamers and people who know each other online, and then are using Bindle to congregate. And then once we see that, we're seeing a lot of them then spin off and make chats for sort of their quote-unquote real life as well. So they'll sort of join a chat with their gaming buddies or internet friends, and then make one for friends and family and everything else. So it's been really good. The last month has been a huge spike in growth for us, and all word of mouth or organic. We haven't had to spend barely any money really, just a couple of prizes here and there for some good partners of ours. But everything else has been just completely organic. So it's been really exciting.
Very neat. And sorry if I make you repeat yourself, but is there a way to see like existing group chats or things like that where maybe like a search function where anyone else playing Clash of Clans, or keywords for chat rooms that people can just kind of find through a search engine and join? Or is it strictly you have to know about the chat room and be invited before you join it?
It's a great question. So right now it's more the latter. You have to know and kind of see someone. A lot of people put them out on Twitter to advertise them. So there's a bunch flying around. Every now and then we'll feature a chat just to help with some discoverability. We are absolutely going to roll out a sort of fully fledged discovery mechanism, but it's something that we want to do in kind of like a special, unique way. And so we're starting with growing the foundation via word of mouth and sharing, which is what's happening right now, and then kind of bide our time, and then at some point in certainly this year, next probably couple of months, we'll roll out our sort of discovery engine that will help you find chats when you join. But really, for right now, we're focused on having people, their first experience, either you've heard about it and someone's brought you here, or you should be getting something started and telling people about it.
There you go. Well,
I hope you find some way to get the word out, because Bindle sounds awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been good so far, and I think it's been good. I've done a couple of appearances, but being on the show, you guys have a long history. It's been awesome chatting with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's have you back, and in a while, and just see how things are going with Bindle, and and see.
Yeah,
how
for sure. The summer will be big for us. A lot of the gaming communities get really busy over the summer with all the kids out of school. So we're already seeing some of that. I'd love to come back and kind of let you know what it's like to have a 10,000 person chat.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I'm sure it'll be much more terrifying, but hopefully it'll work.
Well, Chris, thanks so much for being here with us tonight. Again, it's the Bindle is the name of the company. You can go to BindleChat.com, or you can go to over our website at ComputerAmerica.com. We have a link to BindleChat up on our website, and you can check it out for yourself. Chris, really, thanks so much for being with us tonight at Computer America.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to you guys.
All right. Best of luck. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.
You too.
Good night. Bye-bye. All right. There you go. And again, BindleChat. We have, I wanted to mention something we could do, instead of doing news. Firefox just came out with an update. I don't know if you know this, a brand new update. And the thing about it is that they've added a new feature to Firefox. It's called Pocket, and it's really quite amazing. It's the version. It's 38.0.1 is the new version. I don't know if you have Firefox on to automatically update. I think you should, but if it notifies you and does it. And it's a new feature that they've just added, and it allows you to basically take pages, articles, videos, and whatever, and save them as they are to enjoy, like anywhere at any time. It's a new feature. Basically, what it does is you just click it. It says whatever page you're on. It says it's saved to Pocket. This is not a bookmark. This is different than a bookmark. But you save it, and then the next time you go to you go back to it, you can see a little menu of all the things that you save to Pocket. Now I'm just starting to play with it, and
sounds like it could get cluttered very quickly.
No, because you look at the things, it presents you a nice graphical interface on its own page, and then you can just click on the objects and then take your time to look at them, and then once you've done that, then you can you finish with it, or you can throw it away. But the list, basically, it opens up an own tab, and then after you look at it, you are given the options to save it, use it for later on, delete it. I mean, it's actually a very useful little device that they've added to Firefox. And again, it's free, and I would suggest give it a try. Mm-hmm.
And I want to mention something as well. Where we're doing a nice little promotion with Parallels. This month on all of our social media outlets, on Google Plus, on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, all of them that you can find Computer America on. And they just had a brand new blog post on exactly what we were talking about when we interviewed them last. And they have this new blog post talking about how it's never been easier to run Windows on a Mac using, of course, Parallels. So definitely go and check out that blog post if you were curious and you wanted to learn a little bit more. They say you can do it in 2 steps now, not 3, not 4, but 2 steps to run Windows on your Mac. So go check that out.
Did I mention that I absolutely love Parallels? It's a wonderful application. Lets me run and also their Parallels Access is an amazing product.
Yes, Parallel Access. That's also their new application.
Right, allows you to access your desktop remotely from any mobile device.
That's it.
A computer, from an iPhone. I have it running. I can access my computer from anywhere, and I actually see the screen on my iPhone. And you might say, well, it's kind of small, but they have some very interesting mechanisms which allow you to either consolidate or actually see the screen and move around quite easily with your finger as you would with the mouse. And you have immediate access to virtually no lag. It's a very impressive product, and highly recommend it. And as Abed said, we're doing some social media promotions with Platform this month, with Parallels this month.
Yep.
And you can check it out at ComputerAmerica.com and we'll be posting that on our Facebook page and some of the other social media pages that we support, like Facebook and Twitter and
90
Pinterest.
seconds.
All right. Well, now coming up tomorrow night, we're going to have our old friend and buddy Mike Cermak is going to be here. Mike is the owner-operator of TechGuy.org. We pick topics and we kind of open mic night. Any questions you have about running your computer, he's the guy to ask. And Mike, we talk about all kinds of things. He has a Tesla and he absolutely loves it. We talk about his car.
60 seconds.
And let's see what else we're going to be.
He runs techguy.org. If you have a question about technology, he would be happy to answer it.
Yeah, and also we have a link to him on our homepage at computeramerica.com. Mike, sorry. Oh, and he also has that quiz, the trivia quiz contest that we do. What's the score now, Ben?
About 10-0 in my favor. Somewhere around there. I think I'm rounding up.
Yes. Anyway, Mike Cermak going to be joining us in the first hour, and then in the second hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. That wraps it up. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, and Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy.
Seconds.
See you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody. Again, thanks for watching us here on our live video stream, and we will see you tomorrow night, same time, same channel, here on Computer America. So have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.